What if I told you that TAG Heuer, Hublot, and 3 other luxury watch brands are systematically exploiting the most carefully built demographic in the entire watch industry? Not the first-time buyer dazzled by a showroom and a sales pitch, but you. A man over 50. A man who built his money carefully, who spent decades learning what real quality looks like, who walks into a boutique knowing exactly what he wants. The industry knows you too. They have studied you, priced for you, and built an entire marketing architecture designed to extract maximum money from the one demographic that will not complain. Because complaining would mean admitting you were taken. Today, I am going to show you which 5 watch brands are quietly running that play on you right now. And then I am going to give you the 5 doing the exact opposite. Brands that make what they charge for and then charge you honestly for it. Stay with me to number 9, because there is one brand on the worth it side of this list that most men over 50 have never seriously considered, and it may be the most honest luxury watchmaker on earth. And number 10, our final entry, is the brand that built the movements inside watches you were sold at twice the price and has been doing serious work in silence for nearly 200 years. If you want to know what the watch industry does not want a man with your experience to understand, hit that subscribe button. We post every week, putting real knowledge back in the hands of the people who actually earned the money they spend on watches. You deserve that. Let's make sure you get it. So let's get into it. Here are 5 watch brands quietly robbing men over 50, and 5 that are worth every dollar. Ranked from quietly problematic to absolutely indefensible on the left, and from genuinely impressive to absolutely irreplaceable on the right. Number 1. TAG Heuer, the marketing trophy that costs you like a timepiece. Here is what TAG Heuer wants you to believe. You are wearing the brand of Steve McQueen, of Formula One, of a century of motorsport precision. Here is what gray market data and 3 decades of collector records confirm. For the price of a TAG Heuer Carrera or Aqua Racer in 2026, you are largely paying for an LVMH marketing budget that runs into the hundreds of millions annually. The movements in the majority of core references are sourced, ETA or Sellita-based calibers assembled under the TAG name, and placed into a case that depreciates the moment you leave the boutique. The secondary market has confirmed it. A TAG Heuer retailing at $4,000 regularly trades at 40 to 50% of retail within 2 years of purchase. Not because it broke, but because the market knows exactly what it is. What most men over 50 miss is that TAG Heuer spent the 70s and 80s genuinely making precision instruments. Jack Heuer built something real. LVMH acquired the brand in 1999, and the architecture shifted decisively from watchmaking to brand management. The engineering story is still told. The engineering reality is considerably quieter about the specifics. The one reference serious collectors still respect is the Monaco, the original square case Steve McQueen actually wore on set in Le Mans. Reference CW211R in the modern catalog. That heritage is real. Everything built around it in the modern catalog is largely that heritage renting out its name. That tag on your nightstand, the one you bought because it felt like a reward you had earned, deserves a closer look at what it cost per dollar of genuine watchmaking inside it. Number 2. Hublot, the art of charging you for the name on the outside. What if I told you that one of the fastest-growing luxury watch brands of the past 20 years built its entire value proposition not on watchmaking innovation, but on the audacity of charging more for something that most of the industry uses as a base? That is Hublot. The Big Bang, the watch that made the brand a global status symbol, placed a premium Swiss movement, in many references an outsourced ETA or Sellita-based caliber, into a case marketed as a fusion of materials and charged you between $8,000 and $25,000 for it. The auction data has confirmed what collectors already knew. Hublot's depreciation curve is among the steepest of any brand positioned at its price point. A Big Bang, purchased at retail in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, regularly appears on the secondary market at 30 to 40 cents on the dollar within 5 years. Here is what the marketing buried. Jean-Claude Biver, who built Hublot's modern identity, was a genuine watch industry genius, and the rubber strap-on precious metal case innovation he introduced in 1980 was genuinely new. But the brand that LVMH now manages has extended that story far past what the product inside the case can honestly support at current retail prices. The one exception is Hublot's MP collection and certain limited editions featuring proprietary complications, tourbillons, and minute repeaters where the watchmaking is genuinely present. The watchmaking there is real. The price for it is accordingly real and available only to those who have already done exactly the research you are doing now. The Hublot on your wrist probably cost you more than it was worth. That is not an opinion. That is what the market for used Hublots confirms every single day. Number 3. Breitling, the aviation legend that traded its cockpit for a boardroom. Breitling built instruments for pilots when pilots still needed instruments. The Navitimer from 1952, the slide rule bezel, the chronograph designed for actual cockpit navigation. That was a brand earning its reputation in the only place that matters, which is function under pressure. What the brand has become under CVC Capital Partners since 2017 is a different conversation. The secondary market has confirmed it. Breitling's resale performance has softened materially across major references. The Navitimer, the Super Ocean, the Chronomot all trade at meaningful discounts to retail in a period when brands with genuine collector momentum are trading at or above it. Here is what the marketing does not say. The current Breitling manufacture Caliber 1, their in-house chronograph movement, is a legitimate piece of engineering. That is a real receipt, and it deserves credit. But the broader catalog, priced from $3,000 to $8,000 and built substantially around the aviation nostalgia of an era that the current ownership had nothing to do with, is asking you to pay for a story that belongs to someone else's past. If you are going to buy a Breitling, buy the Navitimer with the manufacture caliber and understand precisely what you are paying for. The history is borrowed. The movement, at least in that reference, is genuinely theirs. That Breitling in your collection is wearing a uniform it earned the right to wear a long time ago. The man currently inside it is not the same man anymore. Number 4. IWC. Richemont's most expensively marketed ? IWC, Schaffhausen has one of the most compelling origin stories in Swiss watchmaking. An American engineer builds a watch factory on the Rhine in 1868. The location becomes the brand's identity. Engineering for engineers. The ingenieur. The Portugieser. Names that carry genuine weight in the collector world. The secondary market has confirmed what careful buyers already suspected. IWC's retail-to-resale ratio is among the least favorable at its price point within the Richemont portfolio. A Portugieser chronograph at $12,000 to $15,000 retail regularly trades significantly below that on the open market, while a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso at comparable retail, also within the Richemont family, holds its value measurably better. Here is the part the boutique experience never addresses. The current IWC catalog is largely built on movements shared or sourced across the Richemont group. In many cases, these are ETA-derived calibers, priced at a premium that reflects the brand's positioning strategy more than the watchmaking inside the case. The engineering story is real, and the history is genuine. The current reality, for most of the catalog, is that a significant portion of what you are paying goes to Richemont's brand management team rather than to the watchmaker. The reference that consistently earns what it charges is the IWC Portugieser Perpetual Calendar. The complication is genuine, the movement is substantial, and the collector market respects it accordingly. Everything else in the IWC range deserves more scrutiny than the boutique experience is designed to encourage, particularly on the wrist of a man who has spent 50 years learning to ask the right questions. Number 5. Montblanc's watch division. When a pen brand charges you, watch money. Montblanc makes exceptional pens. It has made exceptional pens for over a century. In 1997, Richemont moved Montblanc into watchmaking, and the brand acquired the Minerva manufacture in Villeray, a house with genuine complications pedigree going back to 1858. That acquisition gave Montblanc real watchmaking credentials. What the broader catalog does with those credentials is something else entirely. The resale data has confirmed the split. Montblanc's lower to mid-tier Time Walker and Star Legacy references, retailing from $800 to $4,000, perform on the secondary market as fashion watches perform, because that is largely what they are. Built on sourced or ETA-derived group movements, positioned at the premium end of aspirational, and sold on a pen brand's century of prestige rather than independent watchmaking depth. Here is what is actually worth a serious buyer's attention at Montblanc. The Heritage Manufacture Collection, using the genuine Minerva heritage movements and their column wheel chronographs, is real watchmaking that serious collectors respect. The 1858 range has legitimate field watch DNA, but those references represent perhaps 15% of the Montblanc watch range by volume. The remainder is a watch brand renting the prestige of an exceptional pen company and pricing that arrangement as though the Minerva manufacturer's credentials apply across every reference in the range. If you are wearing a Montblanc watch right now, the question worth asking is which 15% of that brand you are actually wearing. Now the list changes direction entirely, because if the first 5 are the brands quietly running the status trap on men over 50, the next 5 are the ones doing the exact opposite. And if you have never seriously considered them, that is precisely what the marketing machine was designed to ensure. If you are starting to understand what the luxury watch industry has been doing with your experience and your earned money, hit that like button. It helps this video reach men who need this information and have not found it yet. And if you are not subscribed to the watch business, do it now. This channel exists for the man who has built enough to spend with his eyes open. I want to make sure you always do. Number 6. Tudor. Rolex engineering at the price Rolex used to charge. Tudor was created by Hans Wilsdorf, the founder of Rolex, as a more accessible alternative to Rolex. For decades, it served exactly that purpose. Then, around 2010, Rolex restructured Tudor completely and began doing something rare, genuinely investing in a secondary brand rather than managing it as an afterthought. The result is one of the most honest value propositions in watchmaking right now. The gray market has confirmed it. Tudor's Black Bay range retains value at a rate that exceeds almost every competitor at its price point. A Black Bay 58, reference M79030N in steel, purchased at $3,500 retail, holds close to retail on the secondary market, a rarity in a segment dominated by brands that depreciate at 30 to 50%. Here is what the marketing does not need to overstate, because the product earns it. Tudor's in-house calibers, the MT5602 and its variants, are COSC certified movements with a 70-hour power reserve and a silicone hairspring. The bracelet finishing, the ceramic bezels on upper-tier models, and the case quality share a supply chain with Rolex. At 40 to 50% of the entry Submariner price, the value mathematics are simply honest. The Black Bay 58 in steel is one of the most complete watches available under $4,000 on Earth. The gray market agrees. The man who buys it knowing exactly what he is buying is wearing it with something more valuable than status. He is wearing evidence of a decision made with his eyes open. Buy the Black Bay 58. Wear it with exactly the confidence the product earns. Number 7. Grand Seiko. The watch the Swiss industry does not want you to compare side by side. Grand Seiko has been making watches in Shizukuishi, Japan since 1960. Produced by Seiko Corporation, Japan's largest watchmaker, but developed and finished entirely independently as a prestige manufacturer. For most of that time, it operated as a domestic luxury brand, revered throughout Japan. Largely invisible to the Western market, the Swiss industry dominates. That obscurity is ending rapidly. The Swiss industry's reaction to it tells you everything you need to know about which way the comparison goes. The collector data has confirmed it. Grand Seiko's resale performance has strengthened materially over 5 years, particularly in the spring drive references. The spring drive movement, a genuinely original mechanism that combines mechanical power generation with quartz-regulated timekeeping via a magnetic braking system, achieves plus or minus 1 second per day accuracy. No Swiss mechanical movement at comparable retail pricing produces a specification within range of that number. Not Rolex. Not Patek Philippe at twice the price point. Here is what the industry's marketing machine has never put in the same sentence as Rolex. Grand Seiko's dial finishing is handcrafted in the Shizukuishi and Shinshu studios, using techniques such as Zaratsu case polishing, snowflake texture, and seasonal and landscape dials that are genuinely artisanal, not marketing language for outsourced work. The waiting lists are shorter than Rolex. The secondary market is honest. The product, by every technical and finishing metric, is exceptional. The Snowflake, the SBGA 211, the spring drive with the textured white dial, may be the single most technically and aesthetically complete watch available for under $5,000. The only reason most men over 50 have never been told that directly is that the Swiss industry's marketing budget runs considerably larger than Grand Seiko's. That is not Grand Seiko's problem. It is the industry's most quietly embarrassing open secret. Number 8. Nomos Glashütte. German honesty at the price the craft actually deserves. In Glashütte, Germany, a town of 3,000 people that has been producing precision instruments since 1845, Nomos builds watches in which 95% of components by value are manufactured in-house or sourced within the town itself. The movements are genuine. The pricing is transparent. The aesthetic is restrained in a way that reads, to a man with real experience, as the confidence of something that does not need to shout. The secondary market has confirmed the value proposition. Nomos retains its value at a rate that significantly exceeds comparable brands at similar retail pricing, particularly in the Tangente and Orion references in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. Here is what makes Nomos genuinely different from every brand in this price range. The DUW 3001 caliber powering the Tangente is a 7mm thin movement developed entirely in Glashütte with an 84-hour power reserve and a level of movement finish that major Swiss brands charge twice the retail price to match. The brand publishes its manufacturing process. It is not hiding the cost of what it makes, and it is not inflating the price of what it charges. That transparency is exceptionally rare in watchmaking. For a man over 50 who has spent a career learning to recognize it, in a business partner, in a contractor, in anyone asking for real money, it should mean something when you find it in a watch. The Nomos Tangente in your price range is wearing the confidence of complete honesty. That is a rarer specification than any movement complication in the catalog. Number 9. Longines. 190 years of chronometric legitimacy at a price the market has not caught up with yet. Longines was founded in 1832. It was the first watch company to ever register a trademark. It timed the Olympic Games. It built chronographs used in some of aviation's most significant moments, including Charles Lindbergh's 1927 transatlantic flight. The brand now sits within the Swatch Group as an accessible luxury proposition, and therein lies the opportunity. It offers the man who actually knows what he is looking at. The collector data has confirmed the heritage is fully real. The master collection, the spirit, and the record powered by genuine Longines calibers, carry COSC chronometer certification, the same standard that a Rolex carries, at retail prices starting under $2,000. That is not a bargain. That is a market inefficiency the Swiss conglomerates have very little interest in correcting. Here is what 190 years of legitimate watchmaking history looks like on the wrist. It looks quiet. It looks confident. It does not need to tell you what it is, because the people who recognize it already know. That is a different category of status signal than a logo. It is the kind of signal that a man over 50, who built everything he has through actual performance rather than announced performance, should find deeply familiar. The Longines Spirit in stainless steel is one of the most legitimate watches available under $2,000 on Earth. The gray market confirms it. The man who buys one knowing why is wearing a timepiece that tells everyone who knows watches exactly who he is. Number 10. Jaeger-LeCoultre. The watchmaker who built the movements inside the brands you were sold at, twice the price. Here is the final entry, and the one I want you to sit with longest. Jaeger-LeCoultre is the manufacturer in Le Sentier, Switzerland, in the heart of the Vallée de Joux, that spent much of the 20th century making movements for other Swiss brands, movements those brands placed their own names on and sold to you at a premium that reflected their marketing budget, not the watchmaker who did the actual work. The Atmos clock mechanism. The Reverso, commissioned by British Army officers stationed in India for polo in 1931. The Caliber 101, the world's smallest mechanical movement, still in production today. The perpetual calendars, tourbillons, and minute repeaters that brands now sitting in the same breath as Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet built their reputations upon. The calibers inside watches, you have been told, in boutiques with marble floors and dimmed lighting, represent the pinnacle of Swiss horology, many of them traced back to Le Sentier. The market data has confirmed what the industry has always quietly known. Jaeger-LeCoultre's Reverso holds its value at a rate that exceeds every IWC reference at comparable retail and approaches Rolex-level resale performance on its most respected references. The Polaris and the Master Ultra Thin. Perpetual tell the same story wherever serious collectors gather to talk honestly about money and watchmaking. Here is what the marketing machine was specifically designed to ensure you never calculated. The man who buys a Jaeger-LeCoultre is not buying status borrowed from a marketing department. He is buying from the brand that built the intellectual and technical foundation on which most of the industry's prestige was constructed. The complications, the calibers, the finishing standards that Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet reference when they define what fine watchmaking means. He is going directly to the source, while everyone else pays a premium to the intermediary. For a man over 50 who built everything he has by understanding where real value originates rather than where it is loudest, there is no more fitting watch on earth. The Reverso is probably not in the boutique window nearest to you right now. It never needed to be. The men who know find it. If you made it to the end of this video, you now understand something the luxury watch marketing machine spent decades and hundreds of millions of dollars making sure you would not. The brands with the largest stories are frequently the ones with the least inside the case. The brands with the quietest marketing are frequently the ones doing the most serious work where it actually matters. In the movement, in the finishing, in the value. The secondary market honestly confirms when the marketing is no longer in the room. Hit that like button if this changed the way you think about what is on your wrist. Drop a comment below and tell me which brand surprised you most. Are you Team Grand Seiko, the Japanese manufacturer the Swiss industry has spent 30 years hoping you would not compare directly? Are you Team Nomos, German honesty that no marketing budget can manufacture? Or are you Team Jaeger-LeCoultre, the watchmaker who built the foundations the brands you were sold were standing on? I read every single comment. And if you are not yet subscribed to the watch business, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. This channel is for the man who has earned the right to spend his money with his eyes open. I would love to have you here for that. Remember, sometimes the most powerful timepiece on your wrist is not the one with the loudest name on the dial. Sometimes it is the one made by the company that trusted you to find it yourself.